members of the cabinet, and fellow citizens. I take the helm of the ship of state as a Florida native, as a veteran of our nation's military, conscious of my own deficiencies, mindful of the great trust that has been placed in me, and thankful to so many of you who have prayed for me. Being charged with leading a state with so much promise, all I can promise is the sweat off my brow, a full heart, my best judgment, and the courage of my convictions.
Despite that, some vindictive Florida counties are still punishing their own residents, like in
Michael Rigby is now one of America's most wanted.
Cops say Rigby is the leader of a local gang.
Host John Walsh featured Rigby on the hit show in an attempt to help catch him.
The legal system is fundamentally flawed.
What the heck's going on here? And what can you do?
Well, I will not be a rudderless vessel in this endeavor. My compass will be set on the principles reflected in the constitutional oath to which I have just taken, principles to which people in this country have given their lives, namely that our rights are endowed by God, not by government.
You have people who have this tremendous authority to put people in jail, to put them away, to eventually have them deported. And they sat there and said, wait, something's not right. Let's look at it. And when you hear that from someone who has so much authority, or from an agency that has so much authority, I think that really does speak to you, and you sit there and say, this is somebody who's doing something and doing it the right way.
What the heck's going on here? And what can you do?
Happy to use our constitutional authority. I think they've been treated poorly, and fortunately, they got a governor that cares.
Wow.
People reply that we have to turn away because justice was done originally. The number of cases that we would work on and actually seek change are rare, but they still exist. So our job is to ascertain which cases have those mistakes inside of it. Now, we're not looking for an objection that was missed for hearsay or some sort of harmless error. We're looking for substantial errors or fundamental errors that affected due process. We're actually looking for actual innocence.
And just how those staff members blamed in the escape of Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished.
This morning, a local inmate remains on the loose after a daring escape.
Now police have locked up 2 of his family members who they say helped him get away. Todd Wilson at the Osceola County Jail, and Todd, his grandmother heading to court today.
That's right, his grandmother's heading to court, his grandson clothes, food, and money.
So our job is to ascertain which cases have those mistakes inside of it. Now, we're not looking for an objection that was missed for hearsay or some sort of harmless error. We're looking for substantial errors or fundamental errors that affected due process.
The judge also showed bias by implying that the defendant pled to an escape charge in exchange for a dismissal of an attempted murder case. Her implication reveals that she apparently subscribes to the biased opinion that the defendant only pled guilty to evade more serious charges, when in reality there was no plea deal at all. The defendant was accused of telling a female to shoot another female, but a subsequent investigation proved that the shooter shot the victim in self-defense and then pled guilty to an offer of 7 years. The case was dismissed on the defendant when he demanded a trial after being sentenced for the escape. Marquez has clearly been misinformed about facts that she could have easily discovered through mediocre investigation had she not been so biased that she didn't even bother to double check. I, Michael J Rigby, the pro se defendant, am honestly afraid that Leticia J. Marquez has formulated a biased opinion of my character, an opinion that she absolutely despises, and based on the false persona of that despicable opinion that is nothing more than a figment of her own prejudiced imagination, I fear that she has ill intentions of imposing a harsh sentence upon me without regard to the fact that I do not deserve it. It has become impossible for Leticia J. Marquez to provide Michael J. Rigby with any form of fair or impartial proceeding, and I thereby move the judge to disqualify herself.
Times when you think about the criminal justice system, we're looking at files, we're looking at circumstances, we see statute numbers, we see not guilty, guilty. It becomes nothing but words and files. When this case started, it started off the same. It was a letter, it was a situation, it was circumstances, and what made it alive.
Prosecutors say it's because of these letters show he's still a continuing threat to the community.
And just how those staff members blamed in the escape of Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished.
No, I can't even believe this is the United States of America when I'm hearing this. What happened?
And so I was actually just recently briefed on this case, and we looked at it, and so...
Two escapes and a mistaken release has left the Osceola County Jail with a major black eye. The fallout left 11 guards without work, 4 suspended for 3 days with no pay, 1 guard suspended for 5 days with no pay.
Aside from 21 guards and civilians directly blamed, Captain Stacy Gaines and Captain Mark Stroop volunteered to be demoted to lieutenant.
Plus, the jail chief, Greg Futch, handed in his resignation.
I think that the chief felt that it was in the best interest of the county.
Where the county manager has just been fired. West 2's Gail Pascal-Brown is live in Kissimmee. And Gail, it looks like the recent
manager Michael Freilinger no longer has a job. The 3-2 vote supports the termination of his contract effective immediately.
He knew everything. When they told him to get down, he got down. I mean, it's not like he was trying to run or anything. So.
Manager Michael Freilinger left immediately, but he does take with him a $300,000 severance package.
Investigates allegations of corruption, money mismanagement, and nepotism at the Osceola County Clerk of Courts. And new at 6, we found out the mounting claims could lead to a...
Conviction Integrity Unit, it's one of the most important parts of my service as the state attorney is creating that unit. You know, there's never been one here in the circuit, but I wanted to make certain that if I'm recognizing sometimes we get it wrong, then the true show of accountability is to make certain we're doing something about it, that we are cloaking all of our convictions with a higher level of accountability, and that's what the Conviction Integrity Unit does.
Most of the cases are handled effectively, and there's little work for us to do on most of the cases that we see.
And just how those staff members blamed in the escape of Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished.
Our job is to ascertain which cases have those mistakes inside of it. Now, we're not looking for an objection that was missed for hearsay or some sort of harmless error. We're looking for substantial errors or fundamental errors that affected due process. We're actually looking for actual innocence.
Do you have any details about reversal?
Well, if you have access to Westlaw or you have access to the 5th District Court of Appeals website, I think if you look at the number of reversals, they're pretty high when you compare them to other judges.
I didn't even know that until I just saw that.
State today corrected the sentencing enhancement. 2010 escape from the Osceola County Jail was overturned by the 5th District Court, who ruled Rigby's enhanced sentence for being classified as a habitual felony offender was not correct because he only had 1 felony on his record.
outside the courthouse for us now, and Janine, Michael Rigby received the same sentence despite some bizarre motions he filed himself.
Yeah, that's right, because both designations, both classifications he falls under, the one he fell under was overturned, carry enhanced sentences. And after representing himself in court today, the judge gave him that same 22-year sentence under a different classification. Prosecutors say...
And that's part of the reason why that the state feels that he's a danger to the community.
How do we deal with those cases? Is prison as a sentence necessary to make the community safer? What I intend to do is put together a unit whose responsibility it is to investigate claims of misconduct, allegations of brutality against the community, and we will deal with those based on the results of...
9 investigates allegations of corruption, money mismanagement, and nepotism at the Osceola County Clerk of Court.
Those investigations, and it's important to me that we get we weed those individuals out so that those individuals who come to work every day to uphold the law can receive the respect and the credibility and the safety and the security that they deserve.
That chicken, I couldn't have squawked it better myself. Alright, gang. We'll bust past this cauldron and draw its attention so Astrid, Rock, and Tuck can net it from behind and drag it out to sea. Got it? I still think we should blast it.
Joey just wants us to move this cauldron out of Bert's fishing lane, so don't get any crazy ideas. Sorry. Crazy's what we do, Astrid. Duh.
You guys do realize that a cauldron's hot water blast can rip the scales right off the screaming deck? Let's focus, guys.
I'm not focused on conviction rates. I'm focused on how did we achieve justice.
I have an excellent record to run on, and I think
when our jail was bursting at the seams, it's my duty to tell my lawyers, be tough, get a prison sentence.
going to adjudicate you guilty of the charges, sentenced to 22 years in the Department of Corrections with credit for 473 days time certificated. I'm going to designate you as a habitual felony offender. The state has proven that, so that you will be designated.
What the heck's going on here? And what can you do?
Well, we got to move forward as a state. We are the oasis of freedom. That's why Florida's doing well. So let's build off that, and let's not go backwards on any of this stuff.